LPT Request. How do you remain calm most of the time? I have seen a few people, during any type of crisis at work or in their private life, they still can maintain a calm posture and navigate themselves through it all. It feels like even if the sky is falling down, they will still remain calm and sipping tea. I am not a type of person who can easily get lost angry when facing troubles. However, during tough times, my face overall vibe can easily show tension, and people often find it hard to approach me during that time. I really want to improve this. I've heard meditation can help. However, is there any other tips beside this? It's compartmentalization. Panic and anxiety will do nothing but cloud your brain with what ifs. If you can singularly focus on the crisis at hand, you think more logically, process the other emotions once the issue is resolved. It just takes practice. Having an anxiety disorder now well treated. No worries. Living through some traumatic things also being professionally handled. And a brain that works like a squirrel on crack, aka ADHD, has given me the unparalleled ability to look and act calm in literally any situation. Will I freak out about it later? Absolutely. But will I maintain a soothing face and make rapid-fire decisions to handle the situation while it's in progress? 100 of the time. I'd be willing to bet buckets of money that most folks who are cucumber calm in crises have some combination of anxiety or trauma in their past. My secret is that I don't care. My work teaches what's important now when for use in high-stress situations. Apparently it's proved to help break mental stalls by getting you to ID the most pressing issue and act on it. I've always found it very useful when everything is happening at once and lots of info is coming in. Just take a breath and ask yourself what the number one priority is right now and do something about it. Think bigger picture. Most people will remember the impact you have made on them. The problem is only as bad as your perception of it. It still needs to be solved, and that will be a lot easier if you're calm and thinking clearly. Freaking out isn't going to make it go away. Meditation definitely helps with your overall state of mind and your ability to control it. And like someone else mentioned here, think bigger picture. Chances are that the problem that you're having is quite insignificant in the grand scheme of things. The problem with trying to force anxiety away is that it never goes. You might be able to mask it, but the brain is still churning. You need to change the outlook from a negative to a positive. Counterintuitively get excited about the possible ways you can solve a problem when it arises. Being prepared helps with the confidence this approach requires. I have a poster with a cat hanging from a tree limb with one paw. And it says "Hang in there." I just look at that poster and think, if that cat can hang on, I can too. I am very anxious all the time and have learned to mask it. When true stressful things happen, people see me as calm because I mask my reaction the same as any other event. It takes practice. This too shall pass. Not advise, but personally, I smoke a lot of weed. Emotional regulation. I am in a worse position to solve said crisis if I let my emotions overwhelm me, angry, annoyed, stressed. So I solve the situation first and let it process later when I can. Another way to phrase it: I accept the environment, the boundary conditions, and I try to make the best out of it. If I have influence over something, I do what I see the best. If I don't, why should I worry about it? Look up Marcus Aurelius. His personal collection of notes, meditations, and the fundamentals of Stoicism. That covers it pretty well. And Stoicism is full of great words to live by. My old boss said I was the most even-keeled person she had ever met. Open mouth smile. I have depression, anxiety, lots of family issues, dealing with infertility, etc., etc. Every problem has a time and place. Just deal with things as they come. I've learned that I don't have control over a lot of things in life. It's easier to deal with what's in front of me than to let it all crush me in one single moment. Deep breaths and try to keep an objective state of mind, especially in stressful situations. Many of us mask our true feelings. We may be feeling incredibly anxious or upset but just don't externalize it. Many people remark on my calmness in situations when I'm actually feeling upset or stressed. It also very much comes from experience. I've been in my field of work for 20 years, so I've seen most things and have the internal resources to make a judgment call when new situations arise. It also helps to compartmentalize your feelings until you can go home and yell at your loved ones. JK, please don't do that. Experience is a huge factor. If you've seen some shit, most shit ain't bad. Military background helps. First responder experience. Even athletes in crucial moments of a game. Having to perform regardless of what is happening around is something you can obtain from having. These things happen repeatedly. Everyone reacts differently. Fight or flight. If you fight, you may seem calmer to everyone else. If your response is panic or flight, some things can be perceived more hectic. Neither is wrong. It's just the way we react to having to survive a situation. Good luck to all. I've had a lot of stress in my time and I just gauge the next stress based on my worst. I work in hospitality and customers often shout at me over petty stuff and it doesn't faze me in the slightest, as if them having to wait 10 minutes for a table is their biggest issue in life. Why should it bother me? Panicking doesn't help. Screaming doesn't help. Crying doesn't help. All these waste energy and take away the opportunity to nip the problems in the bud. Stay focused and deal with the issues. There's always plenty of time thereafter to go holy shit. But now is not the time. Nothing matters, everything is pointless. I remind myself to work the problem, not the emotion. And when I was being wilderness first aid trained, my instructor said, remember, their emergency is not your emergency. This stuck with me. I can keep my cool only if my wife colleague is freaking out. Some switch in me turns on and tells me I have to be the calm one or everything goes to shit. Don't get caught up. Don't let your thoughts and feelings run away from you. One way I do this is by imagining myself in the near future when the emergency is over. I think, in the aftermath of this, what will occur to me that I should have realized or remembered, should have done, etc.? How will I wish I had handled this? When I think about it that way, as if in hindsight, I can handle it better in the moment. That is the secret superpower of the traumatized. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I drink. It hasn't been working out too well for me and likely won't for you either. I think I'll try to take some advice from this thread. Thanks for the question. If anybody is good at just about anything, it comes from practice. Now, how a person gets good at being calm in a crisis isn't a thought. But it would be my most likely guess. Some aspect of their life is or was chaotic and they learned to manage it. Or, they might have ADHD or ADHD-like symptoms. It's kind of our bread and butter.